I'd ask the photographers, please, to take their seats. And by the way, during the press conferences, please don't use a flash. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference for Winter Sleep, which is in competition at the Festival International du Film in Cannes this year. It had its premiere yesterday, and already Variety, among others, has hailed it as a magnus opum. Le Monde called it un film magnifique. Télérama l'a qualifié de 3h15 de pur bonheur. It's a great pleasure to introduce to you, to have with us so many of the film's makers and stars with us. I will introduce them to you, starting at the far end of the table with our interpreter, Kerem Ayan, who's also the vice director of the Istanbul Film Festival. Next to him, the film's producer, Alexandre Maragui. It's his second year in a row in competition in Cannes because he brought us last year the film Le Passé, The Past. Next to him, the actress, IndieWire called her stunningly beautiful, a star of Turkish television in the role of Nihal Melisa Sözen. An actress as well, who's also shot with Nuri. She's a director in her own right. This is her fourth script with Nuri, this co-script writer, Ebru Ceylan. This is going to take a while to get through Nuri Bilge Ceylan's introduction. The festival showed his first film, a short, Koza. It was followed by his second feature, Clouds of May. In 2003, Uzak took 3 prizes, the grand prize of the jury and Best Actor prize, which was attributed ex aequo to the male leads. In 2006, Climates won the Fipresci Prize. In 2008, 3 Monkeys won Best Director. And of course, 3 years ago in 2011, Once Upon a Time in Anatolia won the grand prize of the jury. It's a great honor to introduce the film's director and co-scriptwriter, Nuri Bilge Ceylan. The film's producer, it's her 4th time producing with Nuri. She's, after Once Upon a Time, 3 Monkeys and Climates, Zeynep Özbatur Atakan. In the role of Aiden, a stage actor, Haluk Bilginer, who we've seen in Mira Nair's Reluctant Fundamentalist. We know him from his long-running appearance in the British TV series EastEnders. He's moved back to Turkey recently and worked a lot on stage. He fortunately hasn't retired as his character has. No. And this role is a bit of a stretch for, I think, for our next guest, because she's famous in Turkey, not only as a TV actress, but also as a comedian. Her role isn't that comical. She plays Nekla. Please welcome Demet Akba. And finally, a long-time collaborator of Nuri's. He goes back with Nuri as far as Climates in 2006, the cinematographer Gürkan Tiryagi. I'm going to open up the discussion immediately. We have a question in the first row.
Hi, this is Samira Garoui from Radio Free Europe. First of all, I want to thank you all for this astonishing movie. My question is for Mr. Ceylan. I want to know more about dialogues, these astonishing dialogues. I want to know if you achieved it via screenplays or you led your actors to improvise.
Let me speak Turkish maybe. Önce şunu söylemem lazım. Filmin çıkış noktası Çehov'un birkaç kısa hikayesidir. Son kreditlerde yazdığı gibi Çehov'un birkaç kısa öyküsünden esinlenilmiştir.
I'd like to say that the starting point for the film.
Would you mind speaking in English? We're going to do it on table in English.
Okay, I'll do my best now.
No,
it's okay. Okay. So, I'm not as good in English than in French, but it's okay. So the departure of the movie is 3 short stories, some short stories by Chekhov, as you might see at the end credits of the movie.
Diyaloglar tabii, yani Çehov'dan bazı diyaloglar da var ama çoğunu tabii biz Ebru'yla yazdık. Diyaloglara epey bağlı kaldığımız söylenebilir. Yani ben aslında çekime girmeden diyaloglara çok bağlı kalmak istiyordum. Yani biraz okuma yaptık, çok az yaptık ama yani bir iki defa öyle bir araya geldik. Hani birkaç kelimeler falan düzelttiğimiz oldu o sırada ama çekimde çok bağlı kalmak istediğim için çok iyi oyuncularla çalışmak istedim. Çünkü sadece iyi oyuncular, çok iyi oyuncular sizin yazdığınızı bir yol bulup ağızlarına oturtabiliyorlar. Onun için mesela amatörlerle çalıştığınızda söz gelimi diyaloglarınızı kesinlikle onlara uydurmak zorundasınız. Ama sadece profesyoneller, siz ne yazarsanız yazın. Hatta bazen şöyle bir dezavantajı oluyor. Yani diyaloğunuz kötü oluyor ama o kadar iyi söylüyor ki o kötülüğü fark etmiyorsunuz. Yanlışlığı diyeyim ya da. Yani çok güzel oturtuyorlar ağızlarına. O yüzden çok iyi oyuncular olmasına özellikle dikkat ettim bu defa. Ama hiç doğaçlama yapmadık mı? Yaptığımız oldu ama bu doğaçlamalar sırasında da çok şey değiştiğini düşünmüyorum. Yani ne söyleneceği değildi ama nidalar, belli bir rahatlama geliyor falan ya başka şeyler oldu ama diyaloglara epey bağlı kalınmış bir film bu.
Je le fais en français.
I'm going to give the translation in French, says the interpreter at the podium. There's a lot of dialogue in the film. You have text from Chekhov and from the scriptwriter. It's a film with a lot of dialogue, so I wanted to have real professionals because I think that they, even if the dialogue is quite heavy, with amateur actors, it could have been difficult to carry these dialogues. That's why I wanted to work with real professionals.
Nuri, the dialogue isn't only wonderful, but it's copious. This seems to be new for you. I don't remember so much dialogue in your previous films. Were you holding back? How did the dialogue develop?
Diyaloglar niye arttı? Aslında ben diyaloğu çok severim. Ben ilk filmim Kasaba'da çok diyalog yazmıştım. Fakat onları bir kere filmi sesli çekmediğimiz için beceremedik. Yani iyi olmadı. Ondan sonra bir korku geldi bana herhalde. Ondan sonra bir süre diyalogdan kaçtım. Ama diyalogsuz yani sinemayı da çok severim. Ama diyaloğu da çok severim. Yani mesela tiyatroyu çok severim. Yani daha çok diyaloglardan oluşur. Bir de mesela biraz edebi bir dil edebiyatta çok kullanılıyor ve neyse seni zorlaştırmayayım.
En fait, je suis quelqu'un qui aime beaucoup les dialogues.
I like dialogue a lot. In my first film, Kasaba, I used a lot of dialogue, but it's a film that we didn't shoot live with sound, so we had some problems with that. Then I became a bit fearful of dialogue, so I avoided using too much dialogue. But I love the theater, and in this film, we did use a lot of dialogue, a lot of text.
Diyaloglar konusunda şunu da söylemem gerekir. Yani sadece diyalog artışı değil, biraz da edebi yani sinema için tehlikeli olabilecek edebi diyalog şeyini de denemek istedim bu defa. Çünkü tiyatroda bunu kabul edebiliyoruz, edebiyatta kabul edebiliyoruz. Ama sinemada daha zor kabul ediyoruz. Yani ilk filmlerimde sinemada doğallığa çok fazla önem veriyordum. Biraz da o zamanın şartları yüzündendi bu. Yani o daha becerilemeyen bir şeydi, az bulunuyordu filan. Fakat bugün o bayağı halledildi sinemada. Yani Türk sineması için konuşursam, yani reklamlarda bile sokak dili artık başarılıyor, var yani. Sinemaya ait daha kendine has bir şey acaba olabilir mi gibi öyle bir denemeydi diyeyim yani.
Non seulement j'utilisais beaucoup de dialogue, mais cette fois
I use a lot of dialogue, but I use quite literary dialogue as well in this film. In literature and in the theatre, this kind of language is widely used, but in the cinema it's quite dangerous. It may not work out well, but I tried to do this in the film. In my first films, I was careful to do more realistic, natural things. Now I realize that in the cinema, you can use this different language, even in advertising and on television. More literary language can be used. So this time I've tried to focus more on literary dialogues.
Mezarcısı ya da Dostoyevski'nin Fetkası acaba sinemada çalışır mı gibi bir şey.
Comme le Fossoyeur de Shakespeare, le fait
It's like Shakespeare, Dostoevsky. What I wanted to do is see whether that language could work in the cinema.
Anyone who wants to speak to this, did this literary dialogue pose a problem? Because I don't think you're used to it. And even Haluk, I don't know how much. Well, you have probably done that on stage, but you others, this is a kind of dialogue that you perhaps aren't accustomed to.
Yeah, well, it is. It was, actually. When I first got the script, it was frightening because it was 183 pages long. It was like a New York telephone book. And but after I read the script for the first time, which was after a show, after midnight, and I finished it around about 3 o'clock in the morning, I sent a message to Bilge saying that I loved the script and I thought the script was very honest and no holds barred about self-criticism in the script and beautifully written. So I'd love to be in this film. And I'm very happy that I've done it. But the dialogues, I had pages and pages of dialogues. Some of our scenes with Demet or with Melissa, we rehearsed them beforehand. And when we were rehearsing in front of the camera or when we were shooting the scene, it was like, without cutting, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes long scenes. And we had rehearsed like we would rehearse a play. But when we were rehearsing in front of the camera, it wasn't just a cold rehearsal. The camera was on at all times. We shot the rehearsals as well. So I believe, I don't know how correct I am by saying this, you have something like 150 or 200 hours of material? 200 hours of material. And 3 hours, 16 minutes film out of that. Which was wonderful. So therefore, the dialogue, which I'm very used to by doing a lot of theatre, but it was very extraordinary for a movie.
Melissa, how is it for you, the dialogue? Have you done stage as well?
Oh, yes, but it was a challenge, actually. It was hard to memorize all the dialogues, but as only Haluk said, we done many rehearsals. So while we were shooting the scenes, everything was okay. No problem with the dialogues.
Thank you. There's a gentleman who's been waiting patiently.
Start work. Okay. From magazine Vivi il Cinema, Italy. First of all, I found your film pessimistic but so brave and so sincere. Thank you very much. And I think in the film there are many matters. There is the continuing, in my opinion, of your theme about husband and wife, we've seen in climate. There are social matters about rich and poor, but there are also political matters. So it's a delicate question. My question is a kind of reading the political issue in the film. For instance, there is a dialogue between the two protagonists, female protagonists, about violence, and this concerning when somebody is doing violence against you, it's better not to answer, maybe we will stop. And I want to know with something concerning the present situation in Turkey. And there is the dialogue with the wife. It's a personal matter between husband and wife, but also there is something concerning how could be naive to raise funding with this kind of organization, and it could be a reference of how could be naive to do something in, on the base of very fragile matters. And also there is the issue about the moral, to how to be a good Muslim or not. I don't want to expose you, but I want to know if this film is not only your personal matter about life and about family, but also if you are near the present situation in Turkey. Thank you.
Actually, the present, yani Türkiye'de şu andaki durum aslında başka zamanlardaki durum da insan doğasının genel şeyleriyle açıklanabilir. Yani aslında nasıl söylemek lazım bunu şimdi? Yani ben film yaparken hani şu anki duruma gönderme yapayım böyle düşünmem. Zaten düşünemezsiniz. Yani çünkü bu film mesela gezi olaylarından bile önce çekildi. Yani bugünkü durum hakkında bir şey söylemeye kalksanız 3 sene sonra ortaya çıkar. Yani dolayısıyla sinemanın güncelliği kovalaması hem zor hem de gerekli değil bence. Yani sinema ve sanat bence daha en azından benim için daha temellerine inmek durumunda durum şeyin. Yani bir gazetecilik yapmasına gerek yok. Yani o nedenle benim sosyal konular o kadar ilgimi çekmiyor. Çünkü sosyal konuların insan psikolojisinin bir takım temel nitelikleriyle de açıklanabileceğini düşünüyorum zaten. Nasıl söyleyeyim? Mesela yani her kültürün farklı alışkanlıkları var mesela. Yani mesela Japonya'da küçücük bir olayda bir insan, sen işinize uğraşıyor ama durayım mı?
Hadi yapayım ben. Dans mon film, en fait, je ne fais pas allusion à la situation présente
I don't allude to the current situation in Turkey.
De toute façon, ce film a été tourné
The film
avant tout ce qui s'est
was
passé
shot
avant les
before
événements du mois de
everything
juin.
happened, before the events in June.
Je pense pas qu'un réalisateur
And I don't think that a director should allude to current events in the country.
Si je dois parler de la situation présente,
If I want to talk about the current situation, I'll do it in 3 years' time, but not now. Everything that happens in our country and what happened before can be explained when you think about human nature. As I was saying, when I make a film, I don't think about the present situation. I believe that a director should view things in a broader perspective.
Yani sanatçının görevi bence gazeteciden öte, yani güncel olayları toplumun farkında olmasını sağlamaktan öte daha başka bir şey olmalı bence. Yani o kültürü oluşturan, yani o kültüre yeni bir anlayış enjekte etmek gibi. Mesela demin başladığım sözü bitireyim. Hani Japonya'da diyordum. Japonya'da söz gelimi ufak bir olayda bir insan istifa ederken Türkiye'de etmiyor. Yani çok daha büyük olaylarda hiç kimsenin istifa ettiğini görmüyoruz. Ama eğer sanat aracılığıyla biz o kültürün içine onur, gurur ya da ne bileyim utanma duygusu gibi duyguları enjekte edebilirsek, yani insanların utanma eşiklerini düşürebilirsek bir yerde başka bir deyişle, belki bunlar olacaktır. Yani daha çok böyle bir şeye hizmet etmek durumunda. Yani yoksa bir olayda suçluları bulmak ya da o olayın insanların duymasını sağlamak, bu daha çok gazetecilerin yapması gereken bir şey gibi geliyor. Yani tamam, sanatçı da yapabilir, yani o da işe yarar da öbürü daha önemli geliyor bana. Yani insanların ruhuna sızmak bir şekilde sanat yoluyla. Çünkü sanattan başka şey yapamıyor bunu kolay kolay. Yani kendi zayıf taraflarımızla yüzleşmek mesela. Yani bu da mesela bizim kültürde çok hani yaygın bir şey değildir. İnsanın kendini kandırması daha kolaydır doğulu toplumlarda. Daha bireyleşmesine, daha bireylerin oluşmasına sağlamak falan. Kolay gelsin.
Je pense que
I think that the duty of a film director is different from that of a journalist. Of course, directors can do the work of journalists, but I think directors should focus more on the soul of the spectator. In Japan, for example, when someone dies, someone steps down from government. In Turkey, even if there are deaths, nobody steps down, nobody resigns. Maybe it's a question of culture. In my films, sometimes I may try to give people ideas that I view as a real success. I can nourish their soul, and spectators can learn to be ashamed about certain things. Then I think it's quite a success for the film. I believe a director, therefore, should work more in that direction.
Bir şey unutmadım galiba.
Aşağı bilmiyorum artık. Dolayısıyla hani bu tip sosyal reflekslerle film yapmak bana çok motive edici gelmiyor. Yani onun yerine insan ruhunu anlamak, anlamaya çalışmak diyebilirim. Daha çok kendi filmlerimin yapılma sebebi olarak.
Donc pour moi, ce genre de réflexe
this kind
film, ce n'est pas très motivant pour moi. Je
way of making films doesn't really motivate me. I try to understand the human soul more.
İnsanlığın Mars'tan bile daha az şey bildiğini düşünüyorum.
Et je pense qu'en dans cette je pense que l'homme au monde, on sait encore moins de choses à ce sujet qu'en Mars.
We know perhaps less about man and how he reacts on Earth than about Mars.
Madame Ceylan, perhaps I could ask you, can you tell us about the collaboration? How, in day-to-day terms, do you work together?
Nasıl beraber çalıştınız? Nasıl gitti beraber senaryo yazımı?
Biz zaten son 3 filmdir...
In the microphone, please.
Mikrofon biraz
kapalı mı? Biz son 3 filmleri zaten genellikle senaryoları beraber yazıyoruz. Bu filmde biraz daha yoğun çalıştık. 6 aylık bir süreç zarfında yoğun bir şekilde gerek tartışarak, gerek kavga ederek, hatta bazen şiddetli geçimsizliğe varacak noktalara gelerek ama sonuçta yine de uyumlu bir birlikteliğimiz olduğunu düşünüyorum senaryo konusunda en azından.
Ça fait 3 films qu'on travaille ensemble.
We've been working together on 3 films now, this time round.
Une période d'écriture assez intense.
The writing was very intense. We held a lot of discussions. We often had quite violent quarrels. But I believe that we work very fruitfully together.
Çünkü sanırım biraz bu şeyle ilgili, hayata bakış, insanlığa bakış, ilişkilere bakış, bu konulardaki benzerliklerimizle alakalı olarak iyi bir çalışma yaptığımızı düşünüyorum.
On travaille très bien ensemble parce que
we work very well together because I think we view people and life in a similar way. That's why we get along well when it comes to writing the screenplay.
Thank you. On a une question sur le côté après, monsieur.
Hi, I'm Natalie from Cable TV Hong Kong, and I've got a question for the actors, if possible. What's the most challenging part for you in this movie? Is it like the preparation work about the long script, or is actually during the shooting? Thank you.
Oyunculara geliyor bu soru. Neresi zordu sizin için? Senaryoya çalışmak mı, kamera önü mü? Neresi en zor yeriydi?
Kamera önü. Cevap veriyorum, kameradayım. Benim İspanyolcam ve İtalyancam daha iyi. O yüzden 5. ve de 6. bir dil karıştırmak istemiyorum toplantıya. O yüzden ana dilimde konuşuyorum.
Je pense que devant la caméra était le plus difficile.
I think that it was very difficult being in front of the cameras. I speak many languages, but not French, so I'll actually speak in Turkish. What was most difficult was to be acting and to be filmed.
Günlerde. Çünkü birkaç versiyon çalışıyorduk hep. Bir sefer baştan sona tamamen senaryoya bağlı kalıyorduk. Bir seferinde bir alışımızda baştan sona sahneyi istediğimiz gibi doğaçlama şansı tanıyordu bize Nuri Bilge. Ve bütün bunların içinden o biriktiriyordu ve dediği gibi Haluk Bilginer'in uzun uzun çekiyorduk. Yani içimize sinene kadar, daha doğrusu Nuri Bilge'nin içine sinip tamam diyene kadar çalışıyorduk ve çok heyecan vericiydi.
C'était éprouvant effectivement, mais c'était très
It was stressful but extremely interesting for us. We were filmed for long stretches of time. First, we started playing things exactly as in the screenplay. Second, we were able to improvise. That was the second time round. And we were being filmed all the time. So for us, we had a lot of scope when it came to acting. And then he chose the best scenes. And we were quite pleased with what we were doing.
Hiçbir sahneyi buraya kadar iyiydi, bu devamını ezber unuttuğunuz yerden alalım diyerek çalıştığımız olmadı. Yani tiyatro tekniğine daha uygundu. Sinema tekniğinden çok. 20 sayfalık sahneyi ezber oynadık mesela.
C'était plus comme au théâtre, on travaillait.
It was more like working in the theater. We worked like working on a play.
Merci, Monsieur.
Thank you very much for sleeping winter. My name is Dragoman. I'm from Bombay in India, and thank you for speaking in Turkish. I picked up many words that appeared in Hindustani. The location that you chose could not have been in Chekhov. It is a fantastic location. Why did you choose it? And how did it help your story?
How did you?
How did the location that you chose, the wonderful cave-like rooms, how did it help the story that you wanted to tell, which you say was drawn from some Chekhov stories?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I didn't want to choose this location. But I had to, finally, after a location scouting. I wanted it to be a simple place, actually. But it had to be a touristic place because, you know, you need... I searched the boutique hotels who works even in winter. That was the only area. Cappadocia, in the winter time, you can still find tourists. And I needed a hotel which is a bit isolated outside of the town. That was the only place I could find. Because I was a bit afraid of choosing Cappadocia because it could be a bit too beautiful or too interesting and things like that. So, but I didn't show it that much, I hope. You know. I showed it in the first snow because we needed a change in the atmosphere, and when he goes, we needed some white shots, I think, psychologically.
And I wish it wasn't that cold. It's minus 10 degrees at times.
Yeah. And it didn't snow enough. You know, the snow shots has been shot in a very short time, in one day, and some of them in east of Turkey.
Gökhan, do you have a preference for exteriors or for interiors or for people's faces?
Sen dış mekanlar, iç mekanlar senin bir daha çok çekmeyi sevdiğin yerler nereler? Yüz mü? İç mekan, dış mekan?
Yani özel bir şey yoktu. Sadece iç mekanlarda, uzun diyaloglarda yani sahneye nasıl yardım ederiz diye düşündük. Ve o iç mekanların ışık duygusu için çok uğraştık. Nuri Bilge'yle.
I don't have any preference. We worked a lot in the inside to see whether that wouldn't be more worthwhile, because we had very lengthy dialogues, so we wanted to create this atmosphere.
Kayda gireceğimiz zaman herkesin tuvalete gitmesi gerekiyordu. Uzun kayıtlar.
In fact, it was quite long. People often had to go to the washroom because the sequences were so very lengthy.
We have a question in the back, Madame.
Maria Pia Fuscola, Repubblica, Italy. I'm here. Sorry to ask you, but we are following the news that every day comes from Turkey. With what mood do you follow them? With hope, despair, bitterness?
Türkiye'den gelen haberleri her gün seyrediyoruz. Sizin ruh haliniz nedir? Umut. Sizin ruh haliniz nedir diye soruyor. Hani umut mu, üzüntü?
Buruk bir sevinç yaşıyoruz bence yani şu anda. Çok evet, genelde Türkiye'deki son olaylarla ilgili.
Evet, onları soruyor.
What did you ask?
Donc la réalisatrice d'abord qu'on est assez content, mais c'est
We're quite pleased. But it was a slightly bitter day for us.
Duyguları aynı anda hissediyoruz gibi bir şey. Yani söylediklerinizin hepsi, yani bir miktar var muhakkak. Tam biz buraya gelirken bir de başladı şeyler. Dediği gibi yani insanın iki duyguyu aynı anda hissetmesi gibi bir şey.
Yani aklımız, gönlümüz orada ama burada da bizim için çok özel bir hafta yaşıyoruz hepimiz. Burada olmak, bu festivalin içinde olmak, filmimizle mutlu olmak, filmimizi tanıtmak çok güzel duygular. Ama bir taraftan da işte sosyal medya aracılığıyla, internet aracılığıyla son oradan gelen haberleri alıyoruz ve biraz sevincimiz şuramızda kalıyor, boğazımızda. Öyle bir ruh hali içindeyiz.
On est assez confus, effectivement, comme vous avez dit.
As you said, we do indeed share these feelings. This disaster in the mine happened when we were here. Although we're here and we're presenting our film, and we're very pleased to have the film here, we're very sad. As I said, it is a bitter joy for us to be here. We keep thinking about Turkey while being here.
Hello. Good afternoon. This question is to Mr. Nuri Ceylan. My name is Sunil Doshi from Bombay. I see a kind of a pattern in your film with Climate, Three Monkeys, the frailties of a human being, the family system breaking about, pride, prejudice, ego, being shattered of a man. Continuously you explore those themes. So in this particular film, what was your starting point, the origin of an idea? Was it the Chekhov first, or what is your idea first, or it was an idea which then got into Chekhov? And the second thing that I found was Aydin, the principal protagonist, is a little bit you in the film.
Bundan önceki filmlerinizde hep insan ruhunu inceliyorsunuz. Bu filmin çıkış noktası neydi? Çehov'un hikayeleri mi, yoksa başka bir çıkış noktası da var mı? Bir de Aydın karakteri biraz siz misiniz?
Yok, Aydın karakterinin ben olduğunu söyleyemem ama yani benden de parçalar tabii ki var ama genel olarak ben ve tabii entelektüel bir çevrede sonuçta yaşadığım için arkadaşlarım, yani yakın çevremde çok iyi tanıdığım arkadaşlarım ve kendi ruhumdan izler taşıyan bir karakter. Özelliklerini çok iyi bildiğim, çok iyi tanıdığım bir karakter. Yani çıkış noktamız tabii ki bir hani Çehov'un hikayesi.
Bunu söyleyeyim sonra. Le caractère de Aydın, effectivement, il y a des points autobiographiques, mais ce n'est pas du tout moi.
It's partly autobiographical, but he's not me at all. I do know a lot of people who are in that situation, though. There are actors in Turkey who've stopped working and have opened up hotels in other little towns. So I'm familiar with that kind of character, and I have friends who are like that. So it's a world I'm very familiar with. It's not exactly me.
Faydası var. Aydın'ı anlatırken so maybe it's necessary to say that there's a play with words in Turkish. Aydın, the name of my character, also means intellectual in Turkish. So that's a little play with words. Buyurunuz.
And the first question.
Filmin the starting point of the film. Of course, it was a several Chekhov stories, but of course, we wouldn't start this if we didn't see it in our real life as well. It was, these stories was like written for Turkey, I think, for me. Actually, human is the same everywhere. That's how I see life. But I cannot say that I like to film on certain specific subjects or things. I like more ambiguous films about life in general, which leaves a kind of feeling at the end. I mean, I cannot, sometimes they ask me, what's the word or what's your sentence of your film? I really don't like that in general.
Mademoiselle.
Hello, I'm Sara Nabil from Egypt.
Standing up so we can see you. Thank you.
Sorry. I just want to ask you about the Turkish cinema, and if we look at the Turkish series, we found a lot of Turkish series in world Arab East, in Middle East, and they are very famous, and actors and actresses in Turkey are very famous in our Arab world. Why the cinema is not the same famous, and where is the problem here? Why is not cinema the same famous as series?
Mısır'da birçok Türk dizisi seyrediyoruz, oyuncuları tanıyoruz. Niye Türk sineması da bu kadar çok gelmiyor da Türk dizileri geliyor daha çok sizce?
Because the serials are easier to watch. I mean, they don't go deep into, I mean, for the mass, for the television, they are more suitable for everywhere, I think. Films are more sophisticated, it's more difficult to distribute everywhere.
Yeah, and it's true that in Arab world, the art house theaters are very few and very limited, so that's why I guess it's, I mean, for Turkish film, as for French film or Western film, very difficult to be distributed.
Nuri, I'd like to ask about the cast. Many directors have actors they're comfortable with, they like working with, they call on repeatedly. Here you've done something astonishing. You've created a cast of people you haven't worked with before, I don't think. What were you looking for? And perhaps I would ask the actors, how did Nuri approach you? How did you audition for the part? And how was he on set?
Bütün oyunculara geliyor soru aslında. Nuri ile nasıl çalıştınız, nasıl audition yaptı, nasıl seçtiniz? Çünkü daha önce çalışmadığınız bir yönetmen. Nasıl oldu bu süreç?
He's an amazing director, and he gave us lots of space to express ourselves, and he made us feel good about our performance. So I really appreciated that. And I'm really glad that I had a chance to work with him, and looking forward to have the chance again.
Thank you.
Audition?
We didn't make any auditions before the shooting.
You.
Sorry.
Nuri Bilge Ceylan bir akşam üzeri telefon etti bana. Bir kahve içebilir miyiz dedi. tabii hemen müsaitim, evdeyim de şu anda dedim. Akşamüstü bir kahve çay içtik. Sonra tesadüf oldu. Geçen yıl aranızda olan Türkiye'nin yazar, yönetmen ve yapımcısı Yılmaz Erdoğan benim çok yakın dostum ve iş arkadaşım ve eski partnerim. Hala da devam ediyoruz ama şu ara film yapmadık birlikte. Tesadüfen bir şey sormak için aradı beni. Dedim biraz önce Nuri Bilge ile kahve içtik dedim. Winter Sleep, tebrik ederim dedi.
Donc Nuri m'a appelé
In fact, Nuri called me up at the end of one afternoon and asked if I could go and have coffee with him. I agreed. We went for coffee. And then the actor, Nuri Bilge, who I've worked with a lot, and I worked with him on Once Upon a Time in Anatolia. And I said, well, I've just had coffee with Nuri, and he said, congratulations, winter sleep.
I think I've already answered part of this question before, but I can also say working with Nuri Bilge Ceylan was a wonderful experience. It was a joy, actually. And what I noticed was that Nuri Bilge Ceylan is a master of communicating with an actor, a master of asking what he wants and master of getting what he wants from the actor. Because with a lot of directors, you find that he or she is more interested in what and how the scene looked. But with Nuri Bilge Ceylan, he knows how to speak to an actor, he knows how to get the performance from an actor, and he knows acting, I think, more than actors do. So that's what I wanted to say, and in front of everybody, I'd like to thank him for that. Thank you.
We have a question here, sir.
Hello, I'm Peter de Bruin from Amsterdam, Netherlands. I have a question for Mr. Ceylan. I think this may be your most ironic work till date. There's a lot of irony in this film, small ironies in the conversations. Would you agree that the ironic view of life in the world is becoming more prevalent in your films, and that this ironic touch is becoming more important for your work?
I don't know. Actually, the writing duration was interesting in this movie. Ebru also told about it. We fight it a lot, but it's necessary. First of all, because during the fight, Ebru's brain is working much better, 10 times better. It's the same for me. If I cannot find these words in normal talk like now, but during the fight, I really find much better dialogues. Just in order to overcome. When we fight, we do it for hours, till the morning sometimes. Because each one wants to say the last word. So when I work with other people, generally, in the script, since I am more experienced in cinema, they don't say anything against me. They accept whatever I say. But because she is my wife, she doesn't do so. So she has more rights. And so, of course, but of course, since I am director, I give the last decision. But if we work about her film, so he will say the last word. So I must say, in this movie, some dialogues, Ebru still doesn't approve. But I insisted on them. But it has to be like that. I think I went a bit far away from your question.
That's probably our scenes. Our argument scenes with my sister and my wife is too long because he argued with Ebru until the morning, long arguments, and reflected in the script.
But when we argue, we find such an interesting dialogues, and I'm always after that. I say to myself, why didn't I record this? But at the beginning, you never know that you will talk like that. If I knew it, I would definitely record it. Because it's not repeatable. You cannot, and in the morning you want to write what we talked, you can't do it.
Holland. It's a great honor to stand in front of you. I'm wondering, could you answer my question? Is it a hope? Do you see hope for your characters? And I encourage also actors to answer my question, because we know that all of your characters have good intentions, but we know where it may lead them. Do they finally find their way, not to hell, but maybe to paradise? What is your opinion? Thank you.
Karakterinizde umut görüyor musunuz? Oyunculara da soruyor. Senin karakterle sana da soruyor bu soruyu. Umut görüyor musunuz? Yani hepsi iyi niyetli ama nereye götürdüğü belli yani sonunda, ama yine de umut görüyor musunuz bu karakterlerde?
Valla bana kalırsa yani hayatta ne kadar umut varsa orada da o kadar var. Yani ben şeyi kesinlikle sevmiyorum. Hani filmlerde filmlerin işte sonuna, şurasına, burasına böyle umut koymak lazım gibi bir yaygın bir anlayış var. Yani pesimistik olmaya hakkı yok filmin gibi. Çünkü yani pesimistik olmak gerektiğinde gerçekçi olmaktır. Ben yani gerçeği nasıl görüyorsam, nasıl hissediyorsam o kadar öyle, yani öyle bir hesabım yok daha doğrusu. Yani umut, şu kadar umut olmalı, 10 derece, şu falan, öyle bir terazim hiç yok. Ama hayatta ne kadar umut varsa onda da o kadar var. Yani açık bırakıyoruz. Her şey her yöne gidebilir.
Il y a autant d'espoir dans mes personnages.
There is as much hope in my characters as in life, in real life. I don't like to portray hope at the end of the film. That's what some people do. They end on a note of hope. I'm not like that. I'm fairly realistic, I think. Sometimes you have to be pessimistic, but for me, as I said, there is as much hope in my characters as there is in real life.
Haluk'un karakterinin söylediği umut dolu diye nitelendirilebilecek sözler beni hafifçe utandırdığı için biraz böyle daha sonraki ifadelerinde onu bulanıklaştırmaya çalıştım. Yani kurguda. Sanki Haluk bunları söyleyerek belli bir yükü üzerinden atmış ve bütün yükü kadının üzerine atmış gibi. Daha sonraki yani o kadın planında omuzları çökmüş falan. Öyle bir şey yaptım biraz. Yani yoksa biraz utandırdı beni yani o halde bitmesi. Çünkü yani eylemlerimizin içinde hep küçük de olsa başka hesaplar olduğunu düşünüyorum ve bunların verilmesi gerektiğini de düşünüyorum. Yani o sözler sadece çıplak haliyle sözlerle ilişkiye girerek şey yaparsak, ele alabileceğimiz bir hale getirilirse bana inandırıcı gelmiyor. Yani o sözlerin de, çünkü Haluk o sözleri yani belki kendisini rahatlatmak için de söyleyebilir karakter. Ya da belli bir amaca ulaşmak için de söyleyebilir. Duygusunun hep kalmasını istiyorum bir şekilde. Yani başarabildim mi bilmiyorum ama ondaki daha sonra o şekilde de dediğim şekilde de okunabilecek bir şey var orada, yani koymaya çalıştım diyeyim.
Les paroles que Haluk disait à la fin du film,
what Haluk says at the end of the film struck me as holding out too much hope. I felt a bit ashamed, so I wanted to make the end more ambiguous. I wanted him to have his wife bear some of the burden. I tried with the editing to change that a little bit. In films, I don't like to perceive directly what people say. He could have said this just to feel better himself, without even being honest. So I wanted things to remain a bit confused.
Well, I may add to that a little bit. Of course, there is always hope. Life is hope. But whether that whether what you hoped will be realized or not is another question, obviously. Like in this film, I didn't hope to do what he wanted to do, acting, writing, whatever. Obviously he was a bad actor and he's a bad writer. He's unsatisfied and unhappy, but what he needs to do to be satisfied and to be happy, he doesn't have the material to be able to do that. He's not talented enough. He's not equipped enough to do all these things that he hopes for, he dreams of. Therefore, yes, there is hope, but will Aydın achieve what he hoped from life? I don't think so. So there's a glimmer of hope, but not enough.
Mrs. Atakan, we haven't heard from you. Perhaps in closing I could ask you, what is the role of a producer of Nuri Bilge Ceylan? And what are the particular difficulties of producing his films in Turkey?
Bana mı sordu, ne sordu biraz?
Evet, Nuri Bilge'nin yapımcısı olarak yani nasıl prodüs ve Türkiye'de bir Nuri Bilge Ceylan filmi yapmak ne kadar zor, ne kadar kolay? Nasıl beraber çalışıyorsunuz?
Türkiye'de, pardon sesim için, şöyle söyleyeyim, yani biz 10 yıldır birlikte çalışıyoruz, birlikte 4 film yaptık.
We've been working together for 10 years. We've made 4 films together.
Bulduğumuz şartlar her filmde daha anlamlı ve daha iyi, daha yükselen, çıtayı yükselten bir duruma gitti.
Donc les conditions s'améliorent de film en film. En fait.
Things get better as we make more and more films together.
Olmasından alıyoruz. Dolayısıyla Memento Films ve Alexandra çalışmak müthişti. Türkiye-Fransa ortaklığında Almanya'da var. Ortak yapım olarak çok iyi bir çalışma gerçekleştirdik. Yani ortak yapım yaptığımız zaman istediğimiz koşulları sağlayabiliyoruz. Onu söyleyebilirim.
En fait, désolé pour ma voix.
Sorry about my voice, says Zeynep. That puts us in a strong position when it comes to co-production. We can bring about the optimal conditions for shooting. So in fact, our joint work together has been extremely productive.
It's the second time I'm working with Zeynep and Nuri, and I discovered Nuri's work actually 3 years ago here in Cannes by seeing Anatolia on the big screen at Palais des Grand Théâtre Lumière. It was astonishing, and so we distribute Anatolia in France with great success, and the start of our relationship with Zeynep and Nuri, and I hope to continue this work together a long time, because I'm sure that Nuri's work needs to be more deeply distributed around the world. I mean, it's a fantastic director, and I think this film is surprisingly the most accessible film he has done so far, because I think everyone around the world can respond to this.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid our time is up. Teşekkürler for joining us. Teşekkürler for this wonderful film. Thank you.